the endless stretch of Earth's forgotten ages, long before humans shaped cities or carved borders, there existed a world dominated by creatures so extraordinary that their very footsteps shook the ancient ground. It was a realm where survival demanded strength, instincts, and armor, forged by evolution itself. And among the countless giants that once roamed the prehistoric stage, one dinosaur stood out not because of its size or speed, but because of the sheer ferocity of its defenses. This is the story of Gastonia, one of the most heavily armored dinosaurs ever discovered, and a creature whose life reveals a surprisingly complex tale of family, danger, exile, and strength earned through struggle. Today, its fossils whisper secrets of a world buried 125 million years beneath the crust of time in what is now Utah in the Early Cretaceous period. Imagine landscapes filled with ferns, low shrubs, and ancient conifers. The air was thick with humidity, buzzing with insects, and echoing with the distant calls of predators such as the fearsome Utahraptor. It was in this treacherous terrain that Gastonia carved out its existence. Though shorter than the average human, this herbivore compensated for its modest height with one of the most intimidating defensive structures evolution ever produced. Rows of spikes, plates, and bony knobs covering its back, its sides, and even the base of its tail. At first glance, one might assume Gastonia was too prickly, too dangerous, or too solitary to live in groups. Yet the truth is unexpectedly heartwarming. Unlike many of its armored cousins, Gastonia was a social creature. Fossil evidence suggests that they lived, moved, and fed in herds, an ancient, spiky community bound together by survival. Their togetherness was their greatest weapon. When predators lurked, the adults formed protective circles around their soft-skinned young, much like elephants and bison do today. If you're enjoying this journey into the forgotten world of dinosaurs, consider subtly tapping that subscribe button to my channel, Ancient Past. It helps the prehistoric stories keep roaring back to life, even if the dinosaurs can't. But not everything in the Gastonia family was peaceful. When young males approached adolescence, herd life changed drastically. Instead of continuing under the protection of the group, they were pushed out, forced into exile, left to face the harsh Cretaceous wilderness alone. For these newly independent adolescents, every day was a test of instinct, courage, and luck. Predators were faster. Food was harder to find. Even the landscape posed dangers they had never faced before. However, nature rarely leaves her outcasts completely helpless. Paleontologists have discovered clusters of adolescent Gastonia fossils buried together, hinting that these young exiles may have formed their own mini-herds. Safety in numbers, even among the rejected. Together they navigated the prehistoric playground, using their growing armor and budding instincts to fend off Utahraptors, towering predators equipped with massive sickle-shaped claws and a terrifying appetite. As these young Gastonia grew, something fascinating happened. They began consuming clay-rich soil from riverbanks and sediment layers. This strange behavior, known as geophagy, provided them with vital minerals, especially calcium and other nutrients that helped solidify their osteoderms, the bony armor embedded in their skin. Layer by layer, meal by meal, their defenses hardened. Their spikes grew longer and sharper. And though fossils show the spikes reaching impressive lengths, research suggests that in life, the spikes could have been as much as 25% larger, thanks to a keratin sheath covering the bone, just like the material that forms human hair and nails. Despite their intimidating appearance, Gastonia was not built for speed. Its maximum pace has been estimated at around 5 miles per hour, barely faster than a casual human jog. So instead of fleeing from danger, it relied on its armor and its powerful spiked tail. That tail, armed with large bony blades, acted like a prehistoric flail capable of smashing into predators with bone-breaking force. Against an aggressive Utahraptor, Gastonia didn't need to outrun the danger. It simply needed to hold its ground. These herds wandered through what would one day become the American West long before settlers, cowboys, or human footprints ever touched the soil. The region's climate, though familiar in some ways, was more humid, lush, and unpredictable. Torrential storms, fluctuating temperatures, and shifting rivers shaped the migration patterns of countless dinosaurs. Through this ever-changing environment, Gastonia survived, adapted, and thrived, not as a lone warrior, but as a creature whose power came from community, resilience, and evolution's relentless craftsmanship. And speaking of community, if you're feeling connected to this ancient herd yourself, maybe drop a like on this video. It helps more people discover the incredible world of dinosaurs. And believe it or not, it tells the YouTube algorithm you prefer armored dinosaurs over cat videos. Life as a young Gastonia may have been filled with challenges, but adulthood brought a new sense of stability. Fully armored individuals became nearly invincible fortresses. Their low stature gave them efficient access to ground-level plants such as ferns, cycads, and horsetails. With their heads always near the earth, they grazed slowly but steadily, supporting a digestive system built to break down tough vegetation. But even adults were never entirely safe. Utahraptor remained the apex predator of the region. Larger, faster, and more ferocious than its smaller cousin, Velociraptor. With razor-sharp claws capable of tearing deep into flesh and highly coordinated pack behavior, Utahraptor stalked the same territory, constantly scouting for weaknesses. A lone Gastonia, especially one injured or separated from its herd, risked becoming prey. Yet more often than not, predators learned that attacking Gastonia was a gamble that ended painfully. Every spike told a story. Every osteoderm was a badge of survival. Every herd formation was a lesson in prehistoric cooperation. These dinosaurs were more than armored animals. They were engineers of strategy, defenders of their kin, and living testaments to the power of adaptation. As the Cretaceous world continued to evolve, Gastonia remained a constant presence. It witnessed volcanic eruptions, shifting landscapes, rising and falling temperatures, and endless cycles of life and death. Through it all, this incredible creature endured, its armor reflecting sunlight, its spikes warning predators, its herd protecting the next generation. If documentaries like this fascinate you, well, you might as well join the herd yourself. Subscribing to our ancient past is like forming your own protective ring around the channel, ensuring these prehistoric stories don't get lost to time. And hey, leaving a comment about your favorite armored dinosaur might just help this video find another curious mind wandering through YouTube's ancient digital forests. Though Gastonia is long extinct, its memory survives in the stone layers of Utah, in the dusty fossil halls of museums, and now in the stories we bring back to life. Through scientific discoveries, imaginative reconstructions, and the tireless work of paleontologists, we can follow the journey of this remarkable creature from vulnerable youth to armored exile to unbreakable adult. Gastonia may not have been the biggest dinosaur, it may not have been the fastest, but it remains one of the most astonishing examples of nature's creativity, a creature designed not for conquest, but for survival, community, and resilience. Its story proves that even in a world ruled by giants and predators, strength comes in many forms. Sometimes it is teeth, sometimes it is speed, but sometimes it is a shield, built piece by piece, spike by spike, through courage, adaptation, and the will to endure. And so as we step back from this journey into the ancient Cretaceous wilderness, remember that each fossil we uncover is more than a bone. It is a voice from a world long gone, asking us to listen.